We've got one big carcass here and another big carcass here. I'm calling them a tunnel carcass because they run all the way through to the other end. Hello guys, welcome, Ryan here from the London Craftsman again. And today's video is part 4 of the Ultimate Workbench Build. Today we'll be running through construction and what we've got up to this point in time. So stay tuned, watch to the end, and again, hope you enjoy. So this one is slightly less planned. Well, say slightly less. Are any of my videos planned? No. This is what we're trying to achieve. This is the top. We've got an opening there for our chop saw to pop out of eventually. Our table saw top. This square is going to house the actual table saw box, so we need to cut away for the carcass there. Big chunky shelf to hold the table saw in place. Side profile, you can see where the fence is going to be running in, that little groove. Well, it's just a load of carcasses and a load of frames all going together, and we're going to be making or assembling all these carcasses today. So yeah, exciting times, really looking forward to that. One step closer to getting it finished. So we've got Sean on the carcasses right now. See how big these are. This particular one is the table saw carcass. You can see the middle shelf where Sean is up there. That's where the table saw top is going to be. Already got one put together. That's the right hand side. The extraction is going to go in that. So if I go back to the drawing, what Sean is doing right now is, let's spin it around. He's doing this one right here. Okay, shelf in the middle. Yeah, you get me now? Made up biscuits pre-drilled, and the back, there is no backing to this actual carcass. The backing to this carcass is butting up against this carcass, which is going to be its backing. So 2 carcasses, one there, one there. We've got one big carcass here and another big carcass here. I'm calling them a tunnel carcass because they run all the way through to the other end. Barring a division or a division that's going to be dividing the space into 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. But in particular, before we start assembling this one, which is a B, we need to do a little cutout here because we need to gain a little bit more space for our chop saw lift. We've got a hydraulic lift. It's a motocross dirt bike lift. It's going to be pedal operated by your foot. And it's going to lift our chop saw up, lift this flap up. And but ultimately we need to gain a tiny bit more space. This is why we've got a little hole here, and there will be a box underneath, which is going to take the lift bottom. So yeah, we're going to be cracking on with that. A bit more information about what we've got up to. All our pieces were sanded with P240. Well, first is P120, P240. As well as we absolutely could. We went to town on these. We took all the arises off with our Makita trimmer and our 1.6 radius cutter to give us nice smooth edges. And like I said, these were sanded so well. We went really to town on this. Did all our machining beforehand, sanded them up, and then they've had a coat of Osmo. Do you want to see the Osmo? Yeah, you probably do. Our first coat was this. It's the Osmo Polix oil raw matte, they call it, and what this oil does is keeps the original color of the wood. They said you could put a Osmo raw Polix oil over the top. You can see, so this is 3032 clear satin. So I thought, yeah, why not? Let's go for a slightly shinier finish rather than the matte, just to give it a little bit more bling and a bit more of a nice luxurious finish to the bench rather than being flat. A little sheen would be nice. One coat of that then we did. And then once it was dry, one coat of that. And everything was applied with a gloss roller very, very liberally. If you want to see how to apply oil, watch the video. I'm going to hopefully put a link up at the top of the screen, somewhere around there right now. and that'll tell you 3 different methods to applying this Osmo oil. Very easy. The roller is the easiest way to do it. So Sean did apply it with the roller, and then after that he ragged it off. So let's go over the components. We have all our frame components here, and any of the flat pieces are our carcasses. Ultimately, once all these carcasses are together, as Sean is doing now, they need to fit perfectly within these frame sizes, because we have built these so the tunnel carcasses slide straight through them. The frame is for rigidity and the carcass is to give it strength, and well, they both work together, don't they? A frame and a carcass, and it's going to be as strong as it possibly could be designed, keeping minimal materials possible. We've used about 12 sheets in total to build this bench. This bench is going to be 3.6 meters long in total, from tip to tip, and it's going to be 1.6 wide. It's going to be huge, and it's going to take up quite a big chunk of this space. I'm really, really chuffed. I'm really excited to see it all happen. You can see one thing I'm really excited about is this router lift that's going to be housed in this section. All our extraction is there. The router is going to live in this corner with like a little box. Our hoover and our cyclone and all our hoses are going to go out to every machine, and our chop saw, our thicknesser is going to be in there that pulls out on a shelf. What else have we got? We've got this little bit of space here that we need to do something with. We might just put really narrow shelves in there for screws, table saw blades, cutters. Utilize that, maybe turn them into, like, put a little door on the front. But we haven't actually come up with a plan of what's on the inside yet. We haven't designed that yet. Whether it's going to be drawers, doors, shelves, not too sure, because I need to figure out what I want to put back in and if I'm going to buy brand new tools or not. We have this right now as well. This is our router lift fence that's going to live around this point here. We are going to be reusing this as this is for our, our sliding carriage that runs up and down. That needs to be fixed back on. So that has been taken into account. Other things that we just need to take into consideration are our wheels for this bench. I might have talked about these before, but we've got some caster wheels which take about 100 mm in height. They're really, really heavy duty wheels. Don't know if I can quickly grab one. Where are you, wheels? Where are you? Oh, here we go. This pile here has been living here for nearly a year, apart from that box. And all of that has got to go in the bench somehow. This is what we've got here. Little caster wheel, big caster wheel. Adjustable. The orange dial allows you to raise and lower that rubber stopper. Where my little finger is, that's a rubber stopper that'll come down. So once the table saw, we've leveled it up at the levels, we can lift that rubber up or down to sort of level up the whole bench, because it's going to be huge. So yeah, we've got sockets and hoses and little hose connectors to turn on and off each section of hose. Planer thicknesser there, we've got a nice hoover, we've got a massive chop saw. This is our lift that's going to be going in, our scissor lift. This is the front frame, so it's the back face of the table saw frame. So you've got 2 carcasses going in there and there. This is one of them. So this is where the table saw box, what I mean by the box is the actual whole bulk of the table saw is going to live. Inside there is the only way I could make it work within this framework. I'll show you what I mean by the box. This section here is going to go in that cut out there, but stick out ever so slightly. And can't really explain to you how that top is going to sit, but, well, I can a little bit. That top is going to sit within this little frame ever so slightly as well, so that's going to take some of the weight of the cast iron top. So we're getting there. Sean's doing a great job cutting these sections out. they hopefully will go in this frame very soon. Right, our mission at the moment is to try and get these carcasses in the spaces, then we can flip the carcass around and once it's in place. So, right, let's give it a go. What's the front? That's the front.
That's the front.
Front, top. Yeah?
Yeah, this is top.
So this section is going there.
Yeah.
Cool. All right, let's go for it. Let's see if they fit, eh? You lift your corner up, mate. It won't go in at a diagonal. Yeah. Oh, it's tight. It's tight. Oh, it's beautiful. All right, that's a bit tight there. Yeah, well, we know that is doable. All right. Un autre, là-bas. Do you know what that means? Another one over there. Anyone who speaks French, tell me if I was right or wrong. Un autre, là-bas. Does that mean another one over there? Sean, I'm trying to teach Sean lots of things here.
Front edge.
Yep. Sean's learning lots of things here, aren't you, Sean? Languages, how to sing, how to dance. Top. All right, so let's just keep rotating it this way. You good?
Yeah.
Yeah, we're in?
Yeah.
Okay. Please go in. Ball bags. Oh, it's literally like a glove. Let's see. Do you want to have a little walk around what we have? Everyone who's watching this, you're the first to see this. Let's plonk that other frame in, Sean. We did make a little error over here where we've got a little overhang. This was meant to be, this bottom rail should have been that wide, but it doesn't matter at all. It's not going to get seen. Oh, don't you just love it when you get that nice resistance? So this is what we've got. So far, you can see where the table saw box is going to be. The tongue or the upright for the rip vents to run on. And can you see how we've designed it? So when the carcass goes in, this is the carcass, this is the frame, we create a 23mm gap. It's got to be adjusted about there. So when our fascias, our drawer fascia, or our door goes in, we've automatically got a recess for that to sit in absolutely spot on. We're using full overlay hinges. Any door that overlays the carcass is a full overlay, so all doable. Lovely. Table saw, possibly a big drawer that sits in there, an 800 deep drawer. And this is going to be all of our extraction, our hoover, our hoses, power in here too. We've got a router lift going in this corner, so there'll be a little router taking up that section there. I'm hoping it's all going to fit, but we're nearly there. Really chuffed to see it all coming together. The fruits of our labour. So let's move on, Sean. Let's get this fixed up with some screws, yeah? Yeah. We decided to use 560 screws, 60mm long, chunkier 5 heads. And we're coming in 80 and 80. We just thought that was a nice margin, and we're coming in 25 because the frame, the leftover frame after the rebate is 50mm, so half of that. And we're just centering this one, and we're doing 3 all the way around, 3, 3, 3, 3, 3, all the way around, just taking our time because we need this to be absolutely spot on. And we're not using a countersink, we're just driving those screws in until they're just lovely and flush. So much more nicer than a countersink, I think, anyway. And this is what we've got so far. This carcass is now screwed together. 2 carcasses, 2 frames, all joined together. And this is what it looks like. We're on the bigger carcasses now, and you can see the square cutout. This cutout is for the hydraulic lift for the chop saw. and we've got to put a little tray underneath to gain some more space, but you can see the way we're assembling it. So this would be one of the sides of the bench. So you're looking at the side, as in through there, two boxes. We're gonna have a top that goes on, a side and a side, and you can just see the way we've biscuited. If you want to know how to biscuit, just watch the video in the link above, hopefully. I've left it there. Biscuits and screws, and on this one we're using 550s. Using 550s?
Yeah.
Yeah, 550s, because it just gives you a nice tight bite into the ply. Make sure you pre-drill again with the 3mm drill bit. Go for it. So you can see the construction process here. We've got our X, our cross of biscuits. This is the long division, and these are the two side divisions, I guess, that split the tunnel into two. These little ones. That runs all the way through, and then two panels which split it up into four corners. You can see here, that's the top. We've got the bottom here. We've already pre-drilled our 3mm holes along at the correct spacing. So we're literally just assembling with 550s, nice tough screws, 5 heads for the construction. And after that, we start getting the frames on. Now the sides going in. Screw through the sides. We've just used a sash clamp to manipulate the bottom at the moment. It was just protruding ever so slightly. Same procedure, 50s, 550 screws. We'll get this one in, get the top in, down, and fix to the X or the cross. Most of it done. So now, as you can see, the sides going on. We saved the side for last. We thought it would be a little bit easier. And Sean, go for it. Let's see if it will go in nice and tight. Probably a two-man job to knock them all in, but yeah, two-man job. I'll give you a hand. But there you go. It's getting there, so we're just going to do the same process, 550s. The carcass on B is now put together, and we're starting on the frames. You can see the rebate now. The frames step back 22mm to the carcass to create that inset space for our doors and drawer fascias. We've got one more frame to go here, and then same as that over here, taking shape though. Really chuffed. So we're on literally the hardest part, I find, of the whole construction, or the whole assembly, shall I say. We're putting the middle frame on, and because we've only allowed 1mm in height and width bigger than the actual carcass, it's just trying to knock it on all the way to the center. We're using a hammer and a block. We're not going to see this frame at all, so if it does get marked ever so slightly, it doesn't matter, but we need to work it all the way to that side. The only other way is lifting the carcass off the bench and putting it on the floor on edge, and then we can just knock that down. But we're just getting a little bit of resistance because our bench at the moment is a little bit out of level. And you can see the carcass sagging in the middle, so that's the trickiest part at the moment. But once that's on, all we really need to do is get that other outer frame on, which is the same as that one, right there. And that could be another one done. So the time has come. We've completed all the carcasses, all put together. Really, really chuffed about that, because this is what it's all about, just getting those units put together. All this hard work, all the making of the components, the oiling, the cutting, the sanding, not in the right order there, obviously. All of this has come down to assembling the units and putting them together. So, right, so front table saw carcass, this is all done. We've got two caster wheels on the front. They're fully on that leg, whereas the back ones, they're half on, half off, because we've got two half frames buttoned up against each other. The other carcass is going here, and it's borrowing part of that caster wheel. Let's show you. This is actually the end. So that one was frame 1. This is frame 3, or Carcass 3. That's going right at the end. So again, you can see the caster wheels fully on those legs with nothing here. This side is going to borrow the wheels off of this side. It's getting confusing now, isn't it? Because we got it the wrong way around. And yeah, you'll see it in a moment, but this is what we've got so far. All this work, I don't know how many hours, hundreds of hours to get to this point so far. Hundreds of man hours, especially because we cut up all the materials ourselves. 2 coats of oil. Went over and beyond on the oiling just to give it a really hard wearing finish. Apart from these 2, they've not been oiled, but they're the fences. So yeah, let's flip these round and see what they look like on the ground. Taking shape, isn't it? We got these carcasses in place now. This is where it's going to live. Right in that corner, we've left, well, this wall tapers out. So we've left a minimum of about 700, and over here is about 850. And over this side, we've left about 800 walkways, so 2 people can easily walk past each other. We've still got another section to go on, believe it or not. Look at the size of it. So today is getting it in the right location, and as you can see, we've got that gap. This needs a very slight leveling. This is the one that's out, so we're raising the wheels, but we don't have wheels on this one because they're sharing these wheels. So this has got to slip into place, and then we'll raise those and those wheels. So we've got to do it in the right order, basically. So let's go ahead, Sean, and get this table saw section in and butt it up against the middle section. So in the process of fitting this lift, which is going to house the chop saw in this space, I've had to just modify this lift ever so slightly. If I made the tray a little bit deeper by 30mm, which I had the space to, then I probably wouldn't have to. But I've knobbed off a little bit using masking tape, as long as it's not below the point of this base. It's exactly in line with the base. There we go. So now I'm going to try it in and make sure it fits. So as you can see, hectic here, really hectic. Anyone who's just trying to get lots done in a short period of time knows that a lot of mess comes with that, because you end up just leaving boxes around, etc, etc. So let's start with our bolts. We're using these 110mm long joining bolts. You know, they look like the stuff that you get out of IKEA, but they're pretty good. This little cap screws onto the threaded bar, and they're going to be used to connect our 2 carcasses, like so. Drill through the carcass, come out at the other side of the carcass and connect the 2 frames together. We're most likely going to put 3 to 4 on each joint. So 3, 3, 3, 3, 3, 3. Maybe 4. We've only got 20 bolts, so we'll see. What else? Today we just got the chop saw out, because we've had the chop saw for about a year now. A lovely Makita version, LS1019L. Pretty expensive chop saw that does everything apparently, which is over there. So I'm trying to figure out how to get that in. I did all my homework of how to make it fit within the bench, because obviously it's coming out the top. But today was a matter of just working out all my distances and making sure that this tray that I've got at the bottom was deep enough to take this lift. So it has had to do a little bit of modification. Let me give you a little tester. So you nip this up when you're not letting it down. A bit of modification just so I can let this pedal down a bit more to pump it up. If it went down a bit further, it would go up really quick, but I only need to raise it up maybe 150mm. But yeah, just needs pumping up, which is absolutely fine. That's a great little way. Sean has put this division in here because we wanted to put the planer thicknesser the way it is in that space. So we put the division in so we don't waste the entire space, and that is going to be a pull-out drawer where Sean is. And where is that drawer, Sean? Where is that drawer? just rig it up in there, just roughly. Don't need to push it all the way in. But that drawer will go something like that. Lovely and chunky. It's an 18mm bit of birch, but we've added on 25mm strips at the bottom to chunky it up. And we're going to have side mounted runners for that. So again, that is going to be there. And we're going to have one fascia. Because we were thinking about doors, weren't we, Sean? And we thought if we're having doors, then we've got odd shaped doors anyway, but then we've got to build out with a cheek so the drawer passes the door. So we thought, why not just have one big drawer fascia? This might probably be a door. This is going to be a door to get into our chop saw when we just want to literally rise and fall the choppy. But yeah, doing all right today, aren't we? Yeah. Just getting that division in place with some pocket holes at the bottom. Can you see Sean's put the pockets at the bottom? We're going to be fixing through the top here to get fixings there, and round the other side we're going to fix through the back of the division. Then Sean just does his usual, just getting some runners and fit them onto the side of the tray itself. Happy days. Going to get that done today, aren't we? So today's task really is getting those two sort of modified. I need to cut a hole in the top of this carcass to allow for the chop saw to come in and out, but I'm not at that stage just yet. I just need to build a base. Cut a piece of MDF or ply to sit on that, for then the chop saw to sit on that. I've already worked out my square. There we go, got my lines on. So I'm basically cutting most of that top out. Because the idea is as you push that up and down and the saw comes up, it's gonna flap the birch ply top up. We've got a 25mm top going on top of this soon. Yeah, so concentrating on that today, possibly joining our carcasses because we got it in the wrong position. We thought we wanted it on this side, but our sliding carriage of our table saw hasn't got enough space over there, so we're actually going to move it over this side now. But typically, we've leveled it up onto this side. Our floor's all over the place. So we're going to have to join them together, bolt them, take all our packers out, roll it over, and then do all the stoppers once more, because these wheels have got these little turny bits that the stopper goes up and down, and that's basically leveling up our workbench. So yeah, I've shown a bit of what we've got up to, but it's exciting times to see a bit more progress today. We've been on about 3 or 4 fitting days, dying to get back onto this job because we wanted to start using it. So okay, so there you have it, part 4 over. Hope you enjoyed it. I had to stop it there because, you know, we got still so much more footage of this workbench and still so much more to do that I could have just gone on and on and on. So part 5 will be about the worktops. It's going to be showing you the chop saw in place and the scissor lift, the planer thicknesser, the compressor, tons more. Really is tweaking the carcasses, seeing it a little bit more finished. Really, really interesting stuff. I'm not just saying that, it is quite interesting. And a way to not miss that is to subscribe and also hit that bell button. What that bell button does is just gives you a notification when that video is out. Remember, we've got tons of other videos, tool reviews, especially the BANGGOOD tool reviews with the parallel guides and the squares that help you cut up all your materials if you're doing that sort of stuff. Really, really terrific budget tools. So click on those thumbnails or watch right to the end and see the recommended videos right at the end. One other thing, we've got a membership. Feel free to join, help us out. Any donations will be amazing because that helps us just extend our channel even further, get a little bit better, get more tools, help you out a little bit more, because remember, everything that you see is free. I don't charge, obviously. Yeah, great perks for that, such as a workshop tour, spray room tour, spraying lesson, unseen footage, bloopers, tons of stuff. Well worth doing. Gonna love you and leave you guys. Gonna leave it at that. I'll see you in part 5. Take it easy. Ciao for now.